there are some illnesses which remain in the soul until death and will have to be burned out and beyond. There are some which not only remain in the soul, but remain in the society and in the family. In Ireland, we are probably in the first league division with regard to unforgiveness on family issues. Oh, I don't talk to him, full stop. Whole branches of families until death, never talking over a bit of land, as though material things were more important than the immaterial which goes into the beyond. Remember, there are no pockets in a shroud. I've told you before the story, and it's true, of an encounter I had way back in the student days in Bangor, in one prayer meeting where quite a lot of us were together in intense prayer, and they invited a speaker of some value who had great charismatic gifts, and he was giving this testimony, which for the benefit of those who have not heard it, I repeat in a few words. He told us this: one day I was praying over a lady who was not in a spiritual state of ease, and I could feel it. As I prayed over her, the Lord gave me to understand, and He gave me to understand in a way stronger than I ever had it before in prayer, that there was unforgiveness in this soul, and it was having an effect also on her whole being. And so he asked this lady, "My dear, is there some issue, is there some unforgiveness in your soul?" And she immediately said, "I lost my dear husband in the war, and I have never been able to forgive the enemy." "Well, my dear, why hang on to it now? It's not doing me any good." "Forgive? Never, after what they did to him." "Well, my dear, it's not doing you much good, you know your state. Why hang on to this at this stage? He's gone already anyway." "Forgive the Germans? Never!" So he backed down. There was no point in carrying on the prayer. He could see, with his charismatic gifts, that this was actually an illness of body and soul all linked. There was a hardening even of the body through a bitterness in the soul, blocking up all remission even of physical pain. By chance, 2 years later, he passed by this person again, once more in a place of prayer. At this stage, she was in a wheelchair, and he knew why. We too, in our own way, can be bitter. We can be harming our interior sphere through someone else's negativity, to which we respond with unforgiveness, a kind of interior vendetta. It's not worth it. Leave people's negativity to themselves. Don't take it on board. You have enough of your own. I want to address one issue with regard to negativity. I noticed this weekend, as I was going here and there, and on the way here even on things on the side of the road, that in our village, in the weekend closest to Halloween, there are going to be almighty celebrations, which are going even to involve the Gardaí, which will not allow the village to have access to cars, because it will be a whole village in action to celebrate what? I thought to myself, that is interesting. Only a few years after people were saying we can't have Corpus Christi anymore in the streets because the Gardaí and the traffic do not like this obstruction. And yet we can feast Halloween. It's politically correct. And in fact, if one looks around, it is being celebrated in every public edifice, discreetly or even indiscreetly. The ugly. The ugly. Our brethren, the uglies. Now, I brought something to show you the contrast. Can you see, from your position up there, and over there? Now, this has accompanied me for years. When I was a novice nearby here in Kennicott, I was given this by a holy nun, who also gave me my Bible at profession, which I have with me all the time in the chapel. And this I have with me in my cell above my books or by my bed even, and I used to spend lots of time kneeling before it on a Taizé stool which the novice master had given me, which I still have actually. And this I found to be the most moving representation of the face of the Lord I have come across. And every time I look into those eyes, I sense there is healing in that regard. And going before the tabernacle and the Blessed Sacrament, I see, as it were, the same eyes. Gentleness ready to melt the soul, with goodness and warmth and healing, and yes, forgiveness, should there be any issue. Again, who on earth produced this, I do not know, but that person was gifted. It's associated with Medjugorje, but I'm not quite sure why. But it's a very perfect reproduction of the Madonna, gentleness, beauty, and kindness itself. That, I would say, is as close as we can get to the gentleness of our Heavenly Mother. Compare. Go to any public building in this next fortnight, and what will you find? A greatest distance imaginable from that in all that is presented as what is to be adored and, in a sense, boasted up, even on the level of public holidays by now, whereas All Saints, from which the word All Hallows, All Hallowe'en comes, is not even feasted, even by devout Catholics who can't find in those 24 hours quite often a celebration of the Holy Sacrifice, whereas they'll have lots of time for the other guy. Isn't that interesting? Now, I just want to go into one issue. It's this. The other guy is very much around. And when there is a diminution of faith, there is an increase in belief in the wrong thing, superstition, and in our days, a mixture, syncretism of the occult and all that goes with it in the form of New Age, in which fallen angels are called in without people being aware of it, creating havoc in the soul. Because the devil is not shy to get in, and he stays in when he's half invited. Lots of things go wrong when people get involved with New Age. But it's not just New Age. It's anything which opens the door to ugliness, foul language, temper, aggressivity, and anything which is an emission of hell. And it's everywhere in people's homes. Turn on the television, what have you got? It's your guy. Turn on the internet, what have you got? It's your man again. And you know the most frequented sites on the internet right now, you know what they are, don't you? It's hard porno. And children can get into it just like that at the age of 6, 7, 8, because they're not shy in finding their way. That's what we're up against. Do you see how Halloween in that is actually a huge victory for the powers below? And don't you think that it's not a real issue? You know that on Halloween there are contests in these covens. In Scotland, for instance, they try to find the most powerful witch, and they get him. And he has huge powers for curses, imprecations, and doing damage to souls. And it works. You talk to anyone in the travelling community in Ireland, they're full of stories of curses which bring bad luck, and it works until it's broken. That's, my friend, what we're up against. And now they're trying to get at the Blessed Sacrament, and they're getting it. You know what I mean. And you know what they do once they've got the host, which is very easy to get now. They do all kinds of horrible, horrible, horrible things with it, which I cannot possibly describe in front of children. But use your imagination and add to it. That's what we're doing with our Lord from the Blessed Sacrament. All in honour of the other guy. Whereas our Lord gets what? At the most, half an hour on a Sunday. And we've done our duty.